Could there be a darker connection at play with the news shocking allegations about Diddy's involvement in ST manipulation and premeditated violent acts? Shanquella Robinson's trip to Cabo, Mexico, with 6 companions swiftly became into a nightmare. One can't help but wonder if Shanquella's terrible destiny could have been affected by these same sinister influences. The best friend of Kill Cook, Shanquella, was the first to tell her family that she had died of alcohol poisoning. But Kill's and the group's actions echo the same kind of deceit, manipulation, and outright betrayal that Diddy is now accused of, raising the possibility that power and control can have disastrous results. At first, Callow's prompt communication with Shanquella's family seemed concerning because he kept in touch and provided updates, but this changed after the autopsy report came out and it was discovered that Shanquella had suffered from serious spinal cord injuries and a fractured neck. Could Kill and his group have been functioning under the same unsettling culture of deceit and violence? The narrative Kill presented fell apart, and the once concerned friend abruptly became a suspect in a much larger, darker game, similar to Diddy, who allegedly used his influence to silence his victims while controlling their fates behind the scenes. Another layer of calculated distance and cover-up is added by the group's hasty return to North Carolina, leaving Shanquella's body behind in Mexico while continuing to spread the alcohol poisoning lie. This is uncannily similar to how influential people like Diddy have used manipulation to hide their activities and preserve their reputations while the truth falls apart all around them. With the autopsy report confirming violent injuries and Callow's disappearance from Shanquella's family's life after the truth was revealed, it's difficult not to draw comparisons between this tragic case and the way those in positions of power manipulate and control narratives for their own gain. Callow's decision to bring back Sheena's luggage but not her body mirrors the way enablers in Diddy's world allegedly create a facade of normalcy while hiding the darker reality of their actions. What if this isn't just a case of betrayal by her so-called friends, but something far more serious? Shanquella's death now serves as a terrifying reminder of how secrecy, treachery, and violence may entwine in devastating ways. What if influential people like Diddy Combs were planning events behind the scenes in ways we couldn't have predicted? Is it possible that exploitation had a hidden hand in this horrifying case? Diddy is already embroiled in a string of legal disputes and accusations involving Saint, in the same way that Diddy allegedly used coercion and intimidation to control the narrative surrounding his infamous freak-off parties. The behavior of Shanquella's friends reflects some of the same tactics Diddy is accused of using to manipulate and control his 6 victims. Could Cook and the rest of Shanquella's group have been influenced by Diddy's sinister methods? Rumor has it that Sheena's vacation to Cabo may not have been as harmless as it first appeared. According to some insiders, the entire trip was planned as a birthday party, but was really a part of a bigger scheme connected to Diddy's infamous world of parties and exploitation. Given Diddy's alleged history of planning high-profile secret gatherings, it's easy to imagine that Shanquella was involved in something far darker than a group of friends on vacation. The fact that her friends refused to take her to the hospital despite medical advice raises serious concerns. What if Diddy had connections to some of the group, and this trip was intended to be more than just a vacation? Could it be that, similar to what Diddy's associates have been accused of doing to save his empire, they were ordered to conceal the truth? The autopsy reports the discovery of significant spinal cord injuries and a shattered neck suggests brutality that goes much beyond a simple drunken accident. Given that Diddy is said to work in secrecy at Paramount, and that anyone who threatens to reveal the truth is viewed as a liability, what if this was a purposeful act meant to silence Shanquella because she knew too much or had witnessed something she wasn't supposed to? As we piece together this unsettling puzzle, it is possible that Swift and the group returned to the U.S., leaving Sean's body behind, in an attempt to disassociate themselves from the crime, similar to how Diddy's network allegedly abandoned victims to hide their tracks. They may have been acting on orders from a higher authority who had the authority and influence to pull strings and manipulate events, just as Diddy has been accused of doing in his own criminal enterprise. There are too many parallels between Diddy's alleged criminal world and Sheila's killing, making it difficult to overlook the deception, secrecy, and violent results. Could Sheila's terrible destiny be just another dark chapter in Diddy's web of control? If so, this case might come to light, revealing even more about the entertainment industry's dark side and the lengths influential people would go to in order to keep their position of power. The unsettling details surrounding Shanquella Robinson's case are still being revealed, and one of the most startling findings was that, despite what her friend claimed, no alcohol was discovered in Shanquella's system. This important information refutes the story of alcohol poisoning and raises serious concerns about why the group would make up such a lie. The lack of alcohol points to a much darker motive, one that is directly related to the violent behavior that occurred during the trip. What if these friends were involved in a larger planned scheme to conceal something much more sinister, similar to the manipulation technique Sean Diddy has been accused of using in his criminal enterprise? Then came the video, a crucial piece of evidence that painted an even more horrific picture. It's terrifying to see the video of D3ATH Jackson physically abusing Shanquella while she was helpless, and no one intervened to stop the abuse, but what's even more unsettling are the background noises. "Quella, can you at least fight back?" urged Kill Cook, who had been close to Sheena's family. This similar to how Diddy allegedly ordered those around him to commit acts of violence and intimidation. The violence continued, with reports indicating that Winter Donovan also participated in the assault, allegedly slamming Shanquella into a wall, a blow that may have resulted in the fatal spinal injuries. This echoes the cold and manipulative tactics of people like Diddy, who has been accused of forcing his victims into violent and humiliating situations. Following the release of the autopsy report, which revealed that Shanquella's death was caused by severe physical trauma, the vicious combination of attacks confirmed that this was not an accident, but rather a calculated and vicious assault. Could Shanquella's group have been involved in a similar twisted environment where violence and exploitation were commonplace, perhaps with someone behind the scenes who had connections to people like Diddy? Similar to the layers of secrecy and manipulation revealed in Diddy's criminal case, Mexican authorities and the FBI reopened the investigation, and the cause of death was officially changed to femicide or gender-based murder, indicating that her death was not just a tragic accident, but rather a targeted and premeditated attack. The reopening of Shanquella's case suggests that there were more participants and deeper motivations behind this horrifying crime than first thought. There is now conjecture that the trip to Mexico might have been prearranged with the intention of harming Shanquella. Could it have been a component of a larger plot, hatched by people with more sinister ties who might have been connected to Diddy's criminal network? To add to the mounting suspicions, the fact that Kill encouraged her to fight back and that none of the friends intervened during the attack suggests a chilling level of premeditation. It's eerily reminiscent of how Diddy allegedly used his influence to manipulate and control those around him, frequently leading to violent outcomes. A second video that was obtained from the vacation depicts the group talking about plans without Shanquella. Given that Diddy's associates allegedly kept victims in the dark while planning their exploitation, this has sparked speculation about whether they had been planning against her from the beginning. The group's departure from Mexico after Sheena's tragic death raised suspicions of something much more sinister than a simple misunderstanding, as they left Shula's body in Mexico and returned to the US with her luggage as if they could just leave the horror behind. This wasn't just panic, it was a calculated move to avoid accountability. However, the secrecy, manipulation, and violence all bear striking similarities to the criminal behaviors Diddy has been accused of, leaving us to wonder just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Given Diddy's lengthy history of using his influence to get people to do his bidding and then distancing himself when things go wrong, it is not implausible that the group's decision to leave Mexico right away was influenced by connections to Diddy's criminal network. Diddy is already embroiled in his own legal battles and has a history of using his influence to manipulate situations and cover up events that could have destroyed his empire. Fits uncannily with Diddy's purported evasion and control strategies. If they really thought that Sheenie